Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gold Nugget, JAW_success. If this is your first time to the channel, let me welcome you. If you have already subscribed, let me thank you for joining me on this growth path. Today, my nugget is grow your field until your mountain has no other choice but to move. I'm one of those individuals who will tell you that life comes with problems. And I'm not telling you to ignore the problems. What I'm telling you to do is focus on what you can do, what you must do until those problems move out of your way. Now, a mountain, by definition, is an elevation of the earth's surface, right? It's an elevation of the earth's surface to particular level. Either it rises steeply or it rises through the forms of hills and valleys until it gets to a peak. Every mountain starts at the same level that we're at. And unless we are willing to do things at our level, the peak of the mountains will not be affected. All right? And so I am not saying to you today that there won't be obstacles in your way. I'm not saying that barriers are not there or don't exist. From we are born until we die, there are barriers and there are obstacles. A matter of fact, we have a purpose because obstacle exists. We have a reason to do what we do because a need exists. A matter of fact, I was taught that in our lives, either we're going to be the one to meet a need because we have some reason or somehow to meet the need, or we're going to be the one who need is met because we have the need. So either we are going to be the solution to the problem or we are going to be the problem. My nugget for today is saying you don't be the problem, you be the solution to the problem. Many times we fail to understand this little concept that mountains do not move because we just talk. No, mountains move because we act. Now, when we read Mark chapter 11, verse 23, when Jesus spoke and said, if you have a grain of mustard seed, right, you can, our faith like the grain of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, be thou removed and be cast into the sea. Right? When we read that, we don't realize a couple of things that being played there. One, we didn't realize that he said, faith like a mustard seed. Have faith. Now, what is faith? Yes, there's a definition in the Bible that says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But I want to explain that faith is the inner drive in us to do that which we were created to do. It's the inner drive in us to believe what is said by God about us. It is the belief in us to operate upon the word that was spoken over our life. Not the negative words, but the positive. All right? Some of us, we have been listening so much to the voice of the mountain, the voice of the naysayers, the voice of the opposition, to the point where we miss the fact that there is something good said about us. Right? I used to be so depressed. You know, I think I grew up as one of those young men with such a low self-esteem problem because I was always listening to people telling me how ugly I am, scar face, you know, because of the scar in my forehead and my big nose and my big mouth and my thick lip and all of those kind of stuff. There were persons who were cruel and mean. And I used to listen to those voices to the fact that, you know, I allowed it to affect my personality. But over the years, I have come to realize that those voices, they are only there to make us stronger. They are only there to cause us to shake off the negative and push ourselves into a particular level where we become problem solvers, where we start to impact people and where we start to change people's lives. Now, let me say this. I know people are going through struggles. I know you have issues that you might be facing. Yes, there are money problems that every one of us is facing. Now we have the fear of COVID, and there are so many nuances. But even though these things exist, I am still saying to you that don't stop because you are fearful of what is happening. No, the mountains will remain mountains. They won't change. When we realize this, we realize two things. One, Jesus said the faith of a mustard seed. That means something you put into the ground. If you understand that the mustard seed is one of the smallest of seeds or herbs, but when you plant it, it grows into a nice large tree, right? You realize that what God is saying to us is we should consistently plant the little things that we can do. Because when we plant them, when we put them into the ground, the mountains that we face will remove out of the way. If I had continued to look at the mountains a couple years ago, I would not have graduated from the University of Technology in 2010. Because first of all, when I applied for the university, I didn't know where the money was coming from. But because I was willing to do the things that will get me to where I want to go. First of all, I worked long hours to send myself to evening classes. And when I had amassed the subjects that would allow me to be accepted into university, I applied, right? I wanted originally to be an architect, but when I applied and got through, they said it was going to be full-time and I had no resources anywhere and nobody was able to give me the money to become an architect. So I shelved that and applied for operations and productions management, right? Even then, I didn't have the money, but I spoke to everybody that I could speak to. And that's what we need to do sometimes. In order to move mountain out of the way, we need to connect ourselves with the right people. We need to look at who will help us. Many of us, we anchor ourselves down in the fact that there were those who did not help us. There were those who did not give us the time of day, and we allowed that to affect us. We allowed that to blindside us from seeing that there are individuals who will help us. There are individuals who, even though they will not be able to give us, they will open the door for us, right? And one such individual spoke to a contact at the Student Loans Bureau, and that individual called me in and said, come, let's do this. And when I was finished, I had the money to pay for at least my first year at university. And after that, I worked long hours. I worked nights, day. There were times I never took vacation. There were times I was hungry because instead of buying lunch, I saved the money and all of those kind of stuff. But what did I achieve at the end of the day? I have my university degree today. So what am I saying to you with this thing? The mountain of not having qualification moved out of my way. Not because I just talk. No, I put my talk into actions. The mountains don't forget that a mountain, as I said, is an elevation of the earth's surface. It is an elevation from where you are. The peak of the mountain will not change until you start to move the root of the mountain. And how do we remove the root of the mountain? We do what we can do. We do what we must do. We put in the hours. You know, I am one of those individuals who believe in the saying that great heights gained and kept were not attained to by sudden flight, but they who attained to those heights, they kept working tirelessly through the night while their companions sleep. I'm one of those individuals who believe in that. And I'm one of those individuals who believe that yes, things, it's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. So it's not like the little woman who went and heard the message about the mountain and she went home, look at the mountain beside her house and said to the mountain, "Be thou removed," and then went inside, slept, and when she woke up in the morning, she opened the window and saw the mountain and said, "I know you weren't going to move." No, that's not the attitude we bring to to our mountain. The attitude we bring to our mountain is knowing that the mountain will not move overnight. But because we are consistently doing what we are supposed to do, we are consistently putting in the effort, we're consistently looking at our options, we are consistently asking people for guidance and direction, we're consistently avoiding the plans of the enemy, getting rid of the nuances, whether it be smoking, drinking, gambling, or all of those stuff. We are getting rid of the negatives out of our lives, and we are putting in the work, because when we grow our field, the mountain will have to move. And I will liken this to the destruction of the Amazon jungle. Because people are making inroads, they are building things, the jungle is getting smaller and smaller. That is not good, because trees are the lawns of the world. But I am saying to you, in a similar manner, if the mountain is going to move, it means that you're going to have to do what you are supposed to do. And this is JAW saying, by all means, create a way out. And that include moving the mountain from before you. The mountain that says you're not good enough. The mountain that says you cannot be employed because you have no qualification. The mountain that says to you that you are not pretty enough, you're not handsome enough, you're not from the right background, you don't have. Let those mountains move out of your way by growing the little skill you have, the little perspective you have, because at the end of the day, mountains do move, but they move when we grow our field and dig them down. This is JAW saying to you, God bless you. Bye.